Hey everybody, welcome back. So here's what we're gonna do. Today, I want to start taking out the interior of the car here. But before I start doing that, I want to actually get these doors off here. And I'll show you how I'm gonna do that. There's 6 bolts holding it on. 3 right here. 1, 2, and 3. And if we look down back here, there's 3. 1, 2, 3. So these doors are very heavy. So it's what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to be using this floor jack here to support the door, and then I'll be taking the bolts off while I have the door supported with the jack. Alright, so now that we got the door off, we can inspect this a little bit further for rust and other stuff. When we look back in here, it actually has some debris and stuff. It's solid. It's not rotten at all, which is freaking awesome. So, there we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the back of the car over more to right here, and then I'm going to get the passenger side door off. So let's get that done. Alright, so I got both the doors off, which was a major pain in the neck. And then I went ahead and disconnected the battery, because with the doors open, the lights would continue to be on and they would die. So I put the doors right here in the corner of my garage. And then let me show you a pro tip here. Well, before we do that, let's check out the rust over here. Everything's looking good. There's like no rust. Teeny bit right there, but that's super light. Rocker panel is amazing. And the rear panel is pretty good too. So there we go. No doors. And then back to my pro tip here. Get yourself some Ziploc bags. You're gonna need them, and label everything. Door hinge. So I know that the bolts here belong to the door hinge, and then I will put that somewhere, probably in that plastic bucket there. But just make sure you label stuff so you don't lose it. So the next thing I want to do here is get these seats out. So there's 4 bolts, 2 here, 2 in the back. These are 13 mil. I'm going to slide the seat forward. And then if you come back here, there's all this other crap back here. There are 2 more. One here and one over here. Try to get those, but I'll probably be in the way of the camera. Lift out. And then we'll just go ahead and do the reverse on the, or the same thing on the passenger side, and we'll label those bolts. Okay, so next we got to get the seat out here, and this is a pain because it's held on a clip under here. So you got to put your hand under there, pull down on the bar, push it back, and then it pops out. So like that. So this spring right here, let me pull you closer here. Okay, so this was in there like that. So what happens is this spring right here comes down in between these clips here, and it goes up. So you got to push it down and move it back. When you do that, the whole thing will slide up. So actually feeling moisture back here. It is wet back here. So good thing I'm turning this out so we can figure out where it's getting wet. The guy, when I bought it, it said that the rear window was leaking. So I'm hoping that's the case, but I won't know more until I get into it more. So let me get this other seat out, and then I'll show you how to do the back. There you go. Okay, so this rear seat here is kind of the same. You can push on it and slide it up. There we go. And then, kind of like the seats, only different. See this back clip here? See how it's angled? That hooks onto this spring in here. So that's how the back seat goes in. While I'm back here, pull this out as well. Look at that. That's some old nasty cardboard. Alright, so I'm going to work on getting that out. Let me get the seat out here, and then we'll be back. Okay, so the next thing I want to do here is I want to get these seat belts out. So, you can see down here, these are T50 Torx bits. And I'm using my impact to get them out. They are very tight. There's one. There's gonna be one here, one there, one here, and then one here, and one here. And then I imagine that these seat belts up here as well, these are tucked in. I measured there's going to be one up there and one in there. So let me start working on these. Okay, so I got most of the belts out, but in order to get this out and then the one on the opposite side there, over there, I gotta get this carpet out. But in order to get the carpet out, to get to the bolt, I gotta take these rocker guards or whatever they're called off, this trim for the rocker panel trim off. So that's what I'm gonna do here. Now is what I can do is remove this carpet here and then be able to get to this seat belt here. So this is glued down. And then we can get to that T50 Torx to get this out. So let me get set up. And that comes out. And then over here, this is screwed in, so you take this Phillips out. Okay, and then we're going to remove these four, and then get the carpet out, and then we'll get the seat belt harness out as well. So let's do that. Now we're going to go ahead and take this out. And then, as you can see, there's a screw here, and then back over here there's another screw, and then this whole trim piece should pop out as well. The screws are missing, so alright, but before we do that, we got to get some other trim out. So we got to pop this trim out here. It's just held on by some of these plastic clips. So you're just going to take this and slowly pry it off. Like that. Now, this back piece will be able to come out. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is take out the 1/2 inch nut bolts. One here, and one here. Now we want to remove the screws and the trim to get this trim piece down, which is holding part of this ceiling up. Next is the light in the ceiling. This is a 1/4 inch nut holding that on. And then there's 2 connectors in here. That was hardwired on. Next we have the visor. That's 3 Phillips screws. Now we want to remove the visor, or not the visor, but the strip along the top of the windshield here. Then this whole top comes down. As you can see here, the whole headliner comes down, and then you can just pull it out. So we have the visor out, and look at the factory paint. It's like a brown. That is very nice. It's super clean. So I'm super happy with all that. So the next thing that we're gonna want to do is remove this pillar here, which is inside. It's part of the trim. So the way that you do that is this weather seal has to come out. So you just take it, pull it out. Fairly simple. And if you look down here, there's another 1/4 inch screw right here, and you just take that out. And then once that screws out, this will pull off. Now is what I want to do is I want to start pulling out this carpet here. It's pretty nasty. Okay, so this car comes with factory with an AC. So I got to remove the bolt that's holding this unit on right here, which looks like there's one here Now that we got that unit out, this carpet should be free to start pulling out. So start working it from back there to up front here. So let me get both hands and then we'll continue. Okay, so after I got the carpet out, I actually stumbled upon some issues in the front here. As you can see, there are holes in the floor. That's part of the frame, and up there. So I'm most likely going to have to get a floor pan to go in here and then weld it in across here. So I'll be documenting that while I do it. I'm going to be cleaning this up. I'm going to try to get the dash out as well. So let's start working on that, and then we will go from there. Just because I want to see how far up I can get into here, and it will be just easier with the dash out of the way. Okay, the first thing I want to do is I want to remove this glove box. There's 3 bolts. Now on this, usually there's a rubber piece that goes on here, which I'll probably replace. So when this opens, which is in here, so when it opens, it doesn't bang as loud. Next, I want to remove the radio. So these pull off. And then you got screws right there. Or nuts, I shouldn't say screws. Alright, now we're going to come over to the driver's side here. We're going to remove the screws and stuff holding this in. First, we want to remove the ashtray. Pull that out, pushes down, and it slides out. There's supposed to be 3 screws up in here, but there's one here. And actually, that screw holds in the liner, which holds the ashtray in. That slides out. And then there's supposed to be 3 screws here. There's only 1 here, 1 here. There would be 2 here. And then down here there's supposed to be 1 here. I believe 1 here. 1, something was here. And then 1 down here as well. But this clip is broke. Down. There's a light in the back of here that just pulls out, and this all drops down. The next thing I'm going to do is remove the steering wheel again. Then under the steering column here, let me zoom in. Right there. Right there. And on the other side, those 2 bolts, and they drop the whole steering column here. It'll drop it down. So I'm going to go ahead and get those removed next. Next, we're going to try to take this trim piece out. Okay, next there's 4 Phillips screws. 1, 2, should be 3 here, and 4. It's going to be hard to get out because it's actually pushed up under here, but we'll see what I can do to get this out. Next is this piece here, which is your instrument cluster. As you see, this is all broke, busted. You can see where they tried to glue it. These tabs up here, all 4 of them are busted. So let's start trying to take this apart. Okay, so let's see here. So back here, right here, this is your speedometer cable. This wasn't pulling out because this was hooked into there, and there's no play with this. It doesn't move. So what you got to do is push the cable in, push this clip down like that, and then the cable will pull out. That will free up everything that you need inside of here, so you can get this panel out. So, alright, so now that we got that going out, I'm going to tuck the wires back in behind, just so they're kind of out of the way here. Back here. And then the last few screws I need to get is one there, below this vent. There should be one right here. There should be one right here below the radio, but it's missing. There's one there, and then the final one over there. So I'm going to take that out, and then I believe the only thing left holding this together is just some clips up in the dash here. It's kind of hard to see. I believe that's one right there. Not 100% sure, but that's the only thing left holding this dash together. So, and then all this stuff should come out as one big unit. So let me get to taking those out and get to examining. I'm wondering if this ripped, because definitely somebody was in here before, because the clips holding on pretty much everything are missing and broke. So I'm sure somebody has been in here before. So I'm just going to work on getting this dash panel out, and yeah, bear with me. It's really hard to film in this car. There's not a lot of room, and it's just me. I'm holding the camera by myself, so give me a moment. Let me get you set up on my tripod, and we'll get to ripping. So I got the dash panel out, pretty much, but there's also some wiring here that we got to remove. Like this light here. You turn it and it comes out. Some wire here. I believe this goes to the air conditioning control. Looks like a light down in here. Gotta disconnect that, and then disconnect this light here, right here. So these 2 lights, and then we should be good to go, and it should come. Okay, so here's what we got going on with the car. I just noticed that this had a security system in it, right here. So we don't need that. I'm going to be taking that out. It's just extra crap. And then, yeah, a bunch of wires and everything. So I'm hoping once I get that out and get this all cleaned up, it will be, yeah, it won't be as messy. So let me do that, and then, yeah, I'll be back. Well, everybody, I think that's it for this episode. The only reason is because I started working in here more, and I've been at it for a few hours, and my knees are hurting, so I'm going to be blocking the car, getting a little bit higher, so I'm not on my knees so much. Yeah, we'll see. I'm disappointed with the floor pan. I was hoping for the best, that nothing would be rotted through, but it is what it is. I'll just have to get my welding skills on and see how that goes. But yeah, hopefully in the next episode, I think is what I'm going to do is going to be putting the... I'm wanting to clean everything on the floor here, get everything just gone through, hit it with the wire wheel on my grinder. I would really like to get all the electrical out of here, so I'm just waiting for that to be, yeah, for an assembly book, that like a manufacturer assembly book. So once I get that, I'll know a little bit more about where everything goes and how to take it apart. So I should be getting that midweek here. So thanks for watching. If you guys have any suggestions, tips or tricks or anything, let me know, and I will talk to you all later. Peace.